That's not. That's. No, you're doing not our intro, boo.
Welcome back, club members, to this week's episode of the Hollywood Hubbies Film Club. I'm Jeffrey.
And I'm Brandon. Last week we did our review of 1936 Showboat. We hope everyone enjoyed it and got a lot from it. It definitely spoke to us in a very fresh way. It was exciting for us to be reviewing a film that we had never seen before.
I know, sometimes I like that, like a fresh new movie. Right? And then just get like a fresh take on it.
Yeah, I mean, particularly this version, it was, definitely surprised us. And we didn't even plan it this way, but we released it during Black History Month. And because a lot of the themes hit not only, injustices at that time, but also perseverance and hope. It just, it landed on a really cool month. So
yeah,
that was a happy surprise.
That was really cool.
And got a lot of traction on your Instagram page. Jeffrey runs a musical clips Instagram page called Fave Musical Clips. It's also on TikTok as well. But if anyone likes really cool just musical clips, you find some pretty rare stuff.
Come and check it out. For those of you who are just joining us, we are reviewing AFI's top 25 movie musicals of all time. At the end of every episode, we are spinning the wheel to give us our movie for the next episode. That way you can watch along with us.
What number movie is this? I always forget because, it's hard to keep track because episode
Well, don't
numbers...
get choked up about it.
No.
We'll have other movies to review.
Not enough coffee. It's hard to keep track because episode count is different than movie count. But I wonder what movie this is. Like 13 maybe? Well, this week's episode is in fact a tale as old as time as you sit back to be our guest with Disney's animated classic, Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast is a 1991 American animated, musical, romantic, fantasy film produced by Walt Disney Feature Animation, directed by Gary Truesdale and Kirk Wise, and written by Linda Wolverington, based on the French fairy tale of the same name.
I loved that. That sounded like a AliExpress or like Timo app where you can try to get as many words in there
so that keywords as possible to search it.
Animated American animated musical romantic fantasy film. That's a lot. I love it. The film stars Paige O'Hara, Robby Benson, Richard White, Jerry Orbach, David Ogden Stiers, Rex Everhart, Jesse Corti, Kimmy Robertson, Joanne Worley, and Angela Lansbury.
Walt Disney unsuccessfully attempted to adapt Beauty and the Beast into an animated film during the 1930s and again in the 1950s. This version was inspired by the success of The Little Mermaid that happened in 1989, known as the... What era is that called, Boo, in Disney history?
The Renaissance era.
Known as the Renaissance era. Disney enlisted Richard Purdom to adapt the fairy tale, which he originally had conceived as a non-musical period drama. Dissatisfied with Purdom's efforts, the Disney executive Jeffrey Katzenberg ordered that the entire film be reworked into a musical with original songs by the Little Mermaid songwriting team, lyricist Howard Ashman and composer Alan Menkin.
I wonder how that original one would have been. Like the way that it's described right here, it almost sounds like, what was the movie that they made in like was it the 70s or the 80s that was like really dark?
The Black Cauldron?
Yes. So when you said that right now, I was like, oh, this sounds like it would have been like really dark and dramatic, but maybe I'm just going too far dark. But I don't know. It sounds like it would have been cool, but I mean, we did get an Oscar-nominated Best Picture film out of this, so I guess they made the right decision.
Very true. First-time directors Truesdale and Wise replaced Purdom, and Wolverington's involvement made Beauty and the Beast Disney's first animated film to utilize a completed screenplay prior to storyboarding. So that's a pretty cool fun fact for people that are playwrights and screenwriters out there.
That's crazy. So you're telling me that they would storyboard and just like write around it?
Yeah, go with it.
They just had like really cool scenes that they wanted to do. And
here's all the animated cells, you guys. Here's all the storyboards. Like, let's just kind of write the movie around it. I guess so.
That's very interesting. And again, if this was something they did different, and then they ended up getting a Best Picture nomination,
they did something right.
Yeah.
The film was the second to use computer animated production system known as CAPS, which enabled seamless blending of traditional and computer animation artwork, particularly during its ballroom scene. The first being The Rescuers Down Under, and they did run a trial run of CAPS for the rainbow sequence at the end of The Little Mermaid. I don't know.
So
if you
trial run
you
meaning
know The Little Mermaid way more than I do. What the rainbow sequence is the end, right?
Yeah, but that says a trial run, so maybe it looked ugly because I don't know if I don't think that sounds like they didn't use it, and I don't remember there being a CGI rainbow.
I don't know. I mean, maybe, I bet you on YouTube, if you explore CAPS, there's probably a documentary about computer animation production system when it first rolled out. That would be interesting to deep dive.
Among its accolades, Beauty and the Beast was the first animated film to win the Golden Globe Award for Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, and the first to receive a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Picture. The film received 5 other nominations, including Best Sound, Best Original Songs for Belle and Be Our Guest, and ultimately winning the Academy Awards for Best Original Score and Best Original Song, Beauty and the Beast. So they had 3 songs in
3
original song. That's wild. Well, I'm glad the one that won was the one that won.
I gotta say, of those 3, and we'll get into it, of those 3, I do think that one is the most like radio friendly. It's the most like radio version of those songs, but as far as the most like theatrical, I do like those other 2 songs better than Beauty and the Beast, but it makes sense. I mean, it's a title number for the film, and like I said, it's radio friendly.
Yeah. I mean, out of the 3, I think Beauty and the Beast is the most iconic. My favorite of the 3 is Belle. I just love that song. But it's very rare that like a storytelling song is going to be on the radio. I mean,
I agree.
I mean, just a couple years ago, though, in Encanto, that we don't talk about.
Oh, Bruno. Yeah.
Sorry, that sounds horrible, but I've only seen that movie once. It was not my favorite. Ooh. But yeah, that was shocking that was like the number 1 breakout song from that musical, because I don't know, I usually think of songs more that have more of a vague kind of love.
Sure.
A vague love song that can be taken out of a musical that is usually the one that turns into like a radio song.
Totally.
So when We Don't Talk About Bruno was on the radio, I was like, this is interesting because there's 17 characters all singing, and they're singing specifically about a certain scene.
Yeah.
So that was, I mean, it was cool that it went to number 1, but it was very different.
No, I agree. I mean, Belle is very much a musical type of number,
And Be Our Guest, that's also very popular, but it's not my favorite song.
Got it. In 1994, Beauty and the Beast became the first Disney film adapted into a Broadway musical. Other works include 3 direct-to-video sequels, a television series, a live-action remake in 2017.
Oh my God, when we were talking...
Good Lord.
When we were talking to our friend Ingrid about this list, and we said that Beauty and the Beast was on it, and she said, oh, you mean the original cartoon, right? The animated film. And I said, well, obviously, God forbid the 2017 one is on this list. Jesus.
And a live action animated television special in 2022 that I completely forgot about. I think you went and like found a clip of it recently with like Josh Groban.
Yeah, you were working on your notes and you're like, there was a 2022 live special.
Like, huh?
And I said, yeah. And I showed you some clips and you're like, how did I not hear about this?
Yeah. Interesting.
But it had a very eclectic cast of characters.
And Martin Short was in it, which actually makes sense. I could see him on stage on Broadway.
I think the one that was the most odd for me, and I'm such a huge fan of her, but Shania Twain as Mrs. Potts, I was like, that is two things I would have never seen together. So
she was like, "Let's go, girl." Wait, is that the line? What's the line? Wait, what's the line of that song?
Let's go, girls.
Let's go, girl.
She's like, let's go, cups.
Come on, dishware.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, that was I think she was the wild card that I was not expecting.
Oh my gosh. During 2002, after its IMAX anniversary release, the film was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress for being culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant.
Beauty and the Beast is dedicated to its lyricist Howard Ashman, who died 8 months before the film's release at the age of 40. Theater fans know him not only for his involvement with Disney's Oliver and Company, The Little Mermaid, and Aladdin, but also for his most memorable stage work, The Little Shop of Horrors, which still lives on to this day successfully off-Broadway.
That's right, which we just saw last year.
Yes, we saw with Sherry Renee Scott.
We have seen Little Shop of Horrors, quite frankly, many of times in our relationship together.
Yes.
But that's also a movie that a lot of us have grown up with. I mean, it's something that I think is, you kind of want to say family friendly, even though it has its dark elements, but it is something, a movie that you would watch with, like, the family.
It's also one of those movies that I feel like you hear a lot of kids talk about, like, oh, I grew up watching like Little Shop of Horrors, but then you watch it as an adult, and similar to like Grease, you go, oh my God, how was I watching this as a kid? And like, it's not like there's nudity or there's like a lot of adult content, but the adult content that's in there is like, whoa.
Yeah,
because like people, I mean, the character of the dentist, he's a freaking he's like a
violence.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know, we don't have to get too much into it, but like those elements are very dark. And then, in Greece, they're just all having sex with each other, and as a kid you're just like, whatever.
You're like, huh?
Yeah.
So obvious, I mean, this is a really obvious one. Have you ever seen this movie before, and what is your fondest memory of it?
I've definitely seen it multiple times. My fondest memory, I was just thinking about that today before we filmed, and I was like, I have this memory of seeing this movie in theaters with my sister and my dad. We were very, very young, but I remember we got our seats in the theater, and then we sat down, and then my dad was like, oh, like, I'm gonna go get the snacks now, I'll be right back. It was a different time.
Yeah,
like
for
things
sure.
like that, like, watch your sister,
Yeah,
or
of course.
whatever. And I remember just sitting there and like waiting and waiting and waiting and being like, he's never coming back. Where is he? Like, he's been gone so long. Like, did something happen? And I was like sitting there and I started crying.
Oh no.
Because I was like, oh my God, what happened? Now we're stuck in, like, we're in the theater. Like, we're surrounded by strangers. Don't talk to anyone. And he came back, and like, everything was fine. But I remember I like had a full on, like, I don't think I had
moment.
Yeah, in my mind, I think I had gotten like teary eyed, but I wasn't like screaming or anything. But I just remember it being like so scary for a second. But we sat down, we had our popcorn, we watched the movie, and yeah, I mean, I've loved it ever since. It's just one of those that's like so easy to watch. Like, I don't feel like there are any bathroom moments, as we call them, in this movie.
Like, I agree.
I feel like even the songs that may be my least favorite are beautiful to watch, or the songs that maybe I don't listen to on a regular basis, when I hear them in this film, I'm like, this is a good song, or like, these lyrics are really funny, or whatever. But we all have our favorites, we all have our maybe not so favorites, but none of them are bad,
for sure.
So it's just all around like a solid, amazing film.
It's funny that you had said, babe, that your fondest memory was with your dad. Mine as well was with my dad. Particularly Disney films. He would always take me to the premiere weekend of a Disney animated movie. It was just something special that we always did. I definitely will say, my dad had a lot of those, has a lot of those qualities where he can like geek out. I mean, like he loved watching like, Looney Tunes growing up and the Three Stooges. He used to take notes on all the episodes of the Three Stooges. And I mean, like, and put them in like index cards and have his little notebooks. I mean, I definitely get a lot of those geeky qualities from him when it comes to that stuff. And Disney was one of them. I always grew up watching Disney films with him at home. But yeah, he always would take me to premiere weekend. And if anyone knows the South Bay, the Redondo Beach Galleria, they had 3 movie theaters that surrounded the mall. It was really interesting, but they had 3 movie theaters that
they were like
on
one
each side. It was like stacked, like theater A, theater B, and theater C, and you'd have to drive to the different ones. They weren't all connected. So yeah, they had like 3 different ones, and where the now Target was one movie theater, and that one we would go to, and we would line up because
they were all the same theater, but in 3 buildings, right?
Yeah, they were all like United Artists, but they were like 3 different United Artists buildings.
So, and it was back when, like, I mean, maybe they didn't have it in mind at first to have it 3 separate, or maybe I don't know, but I remember this theater.
Or they expanded.
But didn't you buy the tickets at like theater A, and then you would have to go to the other ones?
Possibly. That part I didn't remember. I think you're right, actually.
You had to buy them at the front, but then they'd be like, okay, you're down there in B, or all the way down there in C.
So like where the Ralphs, and I know no one might be listening.
It's all gone.
But it's like, where the Ralphs was one theater, where now like Ulta Beauty was another theater, which turned into the $2 movie theater for a while.
Yeah.
And then there was another movie theater that was where the now Target is. And that one would be the one that we would go line up on, and we would all line up like behind the building, everyone, because premiere weekend, you would get free gifts, and not just like a photocopy poster that all theaters do now. You would get like toys. You'd get like action figures or like key rings or stuffed animals. Like you actually would get straight up like Disney merchandise.
Do you remember what the merch was that you got for this one?
Beauty and the Beast? Oh man, I don't remember. I know specifically Hercules. I know the Aladdin one, but I don't remember the Beauty and the Beast one. It could have been a plushie, like a small plush. I know Hercules was a small PVC set. Hunchback of Notre Dame was the 3 plastic gargoyles, but I just remember it was always like a big thing. Not to go too deep into it, but that was my fondest memory with my dad as well. So that's pretty cool that we both had.
So you got toys with your dad, and I got emotional trauma.
Yeah, and popcorn. So diving into our plot. Our film opens on a prologue with an enchantress disguised as an old beggar woman arriving to a castle and offers a cruel and selfish prince an enchanted rose in exchange for shelter from a storm. When the prince declines and turns her away, she reveals her true form and transforms him into a beast and all of the servants in the castle into household objects. So basically, she transforms from like an old beggar woman to like a beautiful enchantress. To break the curse, she explains that the prince must learn to love someone and gain that person's love in return before the last petal on the enchanted rose falls. Otherwise, he will remain a beast forever. And all of the items will obviously remain stuck. All the servants will remain stuck in like, item household object mode forever. This prologue is all done through like the stained glass effect, which I gotta say, it feels like a Disney trope. Let's explain a prologue, or let's explain a part of a story through stained glass. I'm pretty sure Sleeping Beauty uses it.
I think for the older ones, if I'm not, I know this trope has been used where they like love to set up a story like beforehand and get you right into the action. I think in the older ones it was books.
Yeah.
So they would start with this big bedazzled book that I always wanted. Those books were so beautiful, and then you would see it like opening up without a hand, like, and then they would go page to page, and like, I don't remember if they had words on them as well, but it was like, the pictures were kind of showing you what happened beforehand, and then there you are, like into the first scene.
Disney trope. Let's get you through the prologue, the pre-story.
Yeah. What I want to know is, watching this and reviewing it, the first time you watch it, you go, okay, here's the plot. This is it, whatever. But what I really want to know is, who the hell is this lady? Like, was this the origin of like a social experiment? Like, is she just going to castles like one by one and going like, I want to see if they're nice or not?
Oh yeah,
like
what's the side?
Who gave her this?
Is this a side quest to a
who
bigger
gave her
journey?
this role? Like, who gave her this job, and why is she taking it upon herself to like? I don't know. I was just like, who are you, lady? Like, just going and judging people if they're nice or not.
Honestly, like I think that. Well, maybe in the original fairy tale, they talk more about that. Maybe she is a enchantress that had a particular mission she was doing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't need more backstory on her. I just want to know what the motive is.
Like teaching him a lesson, but for what future greater good, right?
No, I just mean, who are you? And like, why are you going house to house and going like, are you going to be nice to me? Boop.
Like, how dare you?
Are you going to be nice to me? Boop. So like, I don't.
Oh my gosh.
Like, now you would just get recorded and they would, put you online and like be like, oh, look how mean they are. And then people would be like, let's find out where they work. Let's get them fired.
Yeah, but is she mean because she taught him a greater good to himself? So she's not mean. That's what I'm saying. It's like a fairy godmother.
She turned him into a beast.
Yeah, to learn a lesson. That's the whole point. She's not just going around being mean to people.
God.
She's not like the witch from Hansel and Gretel.
If I had not known this storyline and not known from the beginning to end, and I just started it with like, this lady dressed up as an old hag and went up to this guy's house and said, will you let me in? And he said, no, you're a stranger. I don't know you. Get away from me. And she was like, wrong answer. And then turned him into a beast. I'd be like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, I get that. But it's for the greater purpose.
Whose greater purpose?
The beast. The prince.
Okay, well.
But yes, not knowing all of the story, it is a bit like
how many beasts are there out there?
Well, some of them probably stayed beasts.
That's what I'm saying.
Couldn't find the compassion that he felt,
Yeah, maybe some of these people should have stayed a beast, so it's all better. But I'm just like, did she just take it upon herself to be like, I'm an enchantress and I have magic and I'm gonna go out there and switch some of these people? Yep. I wish I could turn some people into beasts today in 2026. But anyway, that's what I was thinking.
So several years later, in a nearby village, Belle, the bookworm daughter of an eccentric inventor, Maurice, dreams of adventure while constantly is rejecting the advances of Gaston, who's an arrogant hunter of the town. We get introduced through a song here called Belle, where she is wandering through the town, in and out of the different shops, collecting things for home, most importantly, visiting her favorite spot, which is a library. What are your thoughts on Belle, the song?
I love this song. I think it's one of the best opening songs to a Disney film. Like, start off strong. It's, it explains the plot. You get to know these characters. It's set to a beautiful melody. I mean, Paige O'Hara, voice stunning, beautiful. I just think that it's one of the best openings to a Disney film. And this is coming from someone who loves The Little Mermaid. Mm-hmm. And as much as I love the sister song in The Little Mermaid.
Is that the opening song? I thought Fathoms Below is the opening song.
I mean,
well, I mean, it is.
That's not my opening song.
Well, I mean, it is though. But that is your point. I mean, there's your point. That's the reason why this is your favorite opening song and not The Little Mermaid, because The Little Mermaid opens with Fathoms Below.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
I didn't even remember it.
So there you have it. That is why Belle is your number one opening song.
Oh my God! I just said my favorite movie is The Little Mermaid, and I forgot that song.
That's the point. You literally just made your point.
Is it shortened? Yeah. Is it a full song?
Well, what do you mean?
Like, how long is that Fathoms Below song? Is it long?
But shortened from what, though? What are you comparing it to? The Broadway musical?
No, I'm saying, like, how short is it? Is it like 30 seconds?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't like the heave-ho men songs.
Clearly,
so I literally
remember it.
I don't.
You blocked it from
I liked the Sisters drag queen show that they all came out with their feathers and they were like, Adrena, Athena.
Got it. Got it.
And those aren't even their names.
Aquata?
Aquaria. Alaska. Anyway.
Let's see how long Fathoms Below is.
I hate myself sometimes.
Let's see. A minute 45.
That's
not short. That's not a Disney film. That's not a short song.
Okay, well then that's my favorite Disney film, least favorite opening song. God. There, I've said it.
I also love this song. I mean, in my opinion, the ensemble of this song are the stars. I think that all of the town people, they're all eye candy as far as the animation, but vocally, I feel like the ensemble crushes it in this song. The blonde bimbos are hilarious. Or the blonde Bimbettes, I guess we should call them. But the triplet blondes,
real name? Like if you look up
there's like 5 different names of these. In fact,
but is that like a fan name for them? Like
no,
you don't.
No, it's not.
So when the credits happen, it says Bimbettes.
I think so. I'm pretty sure, but their names have been changed like 4 or 5 times. Similar to Babette's name has been changed like 4 or 5 times. So,
but you just found out that wasn't her name in the movie.
Yeah,
like she was just Feather Duster
Plumette or Plumette. I was like, who the heck? Oh, in this film,
yeah. No, it went from no name.
This is she's just Feather Duster.
Feather Duster to Babette in the musical on Broadway.
Yeah,
and then La Plume or whatever.
Yeah, La Plume or La Fou.
Oh no, I think that means Fou. I think that means pen.
Oh yeah, wait, was she a pen?
And no, she was a feather duster, but like a goose or like a peacock or something. Oh, I don't know. She was some sort of bird.
Either way, the ensemble kills it during Belle. I am a little shocked that this song didn't win for best song at the Oscars. Simply because I do feel like it's a fuller song and a little bit more difficult as well. But
it really
radio friendly.
It really builds too. Like by the end,
Gaston is in the song. I mean, everyone is in this.
I just mean like the music and stuff. Like it starts like. Like it's all quiet, and then by the end, like the whole town is screaming.
Yeah, there are a couple songs that are musical numbers. This one is one of them. This is a staged musical style,
and there's so many good characters in it that I wish had more. Had more scenes. I love the lady picking out her wigs. She's amazing.
Yeah, she should have been in more scenes.
I love the mom with all her kids screaming about needing eggs. Like, I love her.
The owner of the library shop is charming. You know, like there's so much to this scene that it is a great way to introduce us into this film.
Yes, it really is. I do have a question though. So watching it, they're really setting it up like, here's this town. Look at this beautiful girl. She reads. Ooh, I can't believe she reads. And they're all just like, they're trying to set it up like, what's up with Belle? Like, why is she such a weirdo? She like, oh my God, she reads. And I like, they're just kind of judging her. But then watching it as an adult, do you think they're so busy with life? Like they're running around, they're baking bread, they're trying to get eggs, they're trying to get wigs. They're busy people, and she's just like la di da, la la la, like just like walking around. Maybe they're like, Belle, get a job.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like
what's up with Belle?
Are there even any other younger people in town? Maybe that was another weird.
The Bimbettes, as you like to call them.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
No, but they're too busy being horny. They just want to
right?
They're like, hey, Gaston, do you want a threesome or a foursome? Like,
yeah, Claudia, Laura, and Paula, otherwise known as the Bimbettes, are the trio that are exceedingly ditzy, beautiful, and blonde who fawn over Gaston. Otherwise renamed and known as the Silly Girls or the Triplets. I think in the Broadway show now they call them just the Silly Girls because they don't make them look the same anymore.
No.
Like on stage, which is kind of a miss because isn't that kind of the point? Like all the girls look exactly the same and act exactly the same, but Belle is different. You kind of miss the mark with that if you just have 3 girls fawning over him. Like, that's not the point.
If they were all wearing the same dress, if they all had the same hairstyle, if they were just like, you know, identical in that way, like, oh, we're, you know, we all like the same things, so it's kind of like carbon copy that way,
right?
That, and then Belle's just, you know, walking around with her book and her blue dress, then, you know, it's like, oh, he wants that instead because she's different. So it could be different in that sense of like, oh, they're all wearing the same pink dress and they all have the same hairstyle. I don't know, but I could see it that way, and then it's easier to cast, and you can just get 3 funny girls and then just be like, okay, we're gonna give you the same booby dress with your cleavage out, or I don't know.
3 silly girls.
Bimbettes.
So one day Maurice travels to a local fair to present his latest invention, which is a wood chopping machine. When he's traveling in the forest, he gets lost. It gets dark and he's attacked by some wolves. Upon seeking refuge in Beast's castle, he is eventually detained for trespassing. So basically, yeah, he stumbles, he gets lost, and here we get glimpses of the beast, and as far as like his shadows, but we really don't get introduced to him. We do get introduced to some of the magic items around the house, particularly Lumiere and Cogsworth, who, of course, were servants of the house before then. I mean, they're still servants, but they were original servants of the house. They've now been turned into candlesticks, clocks, etc. They do make Maurice feel at home until the beast basically gets upset that they're, you know, taking care of this human and being hospitable, and he throws Maurice into like a jail cell. So in the meantime, back home at the village, Gaston goes to propose to Belle. Even though Belle has no interest in him, he sets up this whole, like, you know, proposal ceremony. He's got like a band there. He's got a cake there. There's a really funny scene of the blonde Bimbettes like crying over the cake because they're like, no, like, he can't do this.
I'm sure they'll be fine because Gaston is a dog. So even if he, number one, I 100% believe that he's probably on the side with them. And do you think if he marries Belle that he's not going to keep with them on the side? Like, he's a monster. So
I mean, yeah, probably. I didn't really think about it that way, but yeah, you're right.
Like, it's going to say he's going to go hunting, but we know what he's hunting for.
Also, forgot to mention that Maurice took Philippe on the journey with him, which is the family's horse. That's important because the horse does not get captured. The horse makes it back to the village in a little while. Just wanted to throw that out there.
I love a good horse character that with attitude, like,
yeah, even
similar.
Even when they don't have voices, you know.
Yeah,
like, some of them, of course, have voices. Like
it reminds me of
don't, huh?
It reminds me of Prince Philip in Sleeping Beauty with his horse. Like, I know better. Like,
yeah,
it's a very, like, it's a very funny relationship.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the horse characters, Pegasus has attitude in Hercules, Achilles in Hunchback of Notre Dame has attitude. What's Philippe's horse's? I mean, not Philippe. Philippe is the horse in this. What's Prince Philip's horse's name?
Oh God. You know I'm bad with names.
Let's look it up.
Well, while you're looking it up, I also want to ask a question. Did they ever explain why
Samson.
Oh, I kind of remember that. But again, I'm bad at names. Did they ever explain why the enchantress decided to enchant his staff? Like, is it because you created a monster, so you're also, like, you're part of the problem because you created this monster?
Possibly, I guess.
That's the only thing I can come up with, but I'm like, also, like, you know, they didn't turn you away.
Or maybe she wanted to, she didn't want him to have it so easy And if they were all humans, maybe they could have easily found a suitor, and then they could have explained it to someone. But they could have explained it to Belle. I mean, they didn't have to keep it a secret that he had to find true love, you know?
Did they fix that in the Beauty and the Beast live action film? Meaning, like, let's say going back to Little Mermaid, they took away Ariel's voice so that she couldn't be like, "Hey, Eric, I'm a mermaid. I would like to be with you. Do you want to be with me? You should kiss me, and then I can be a human." Smooch. Then she gets to keep her legs. So they had to, her voice is gone, so she can't explain that. What couldn't they explain that to Belle, or that's not true love?
Oh, I guess that's not true love. Yeah, you're right. That's a little bit more in detail. Belle's Beauty and the Beast is a little bit more on it when it comes to the plot of that, because in The Little Mermaid, like, why does Scuttle only talk to Ariel? Like, is it because she's a fish person and she could hear Scuttle? Like, why can't Scuttle just go talk to Prince Eric? Like, where do we draw the line on why they can't communicate to humans? Why can they only communicate to mermaids? Don't mermaids, do they have a different way of hearing and understanding?
It's probably like humans.
So I never really understood that it was like,
understand them.
And then, like, if the dog, like, Eric has a dog, why can't the dog go talk to the animals as well if all the animals can talk? So what was it, just like sea life can't speak to
they all have their special language?
Well, no, because Scuttle can talk to Flounder. So what's the difference? Why does the bird get to talk to the fish creatures like that? So that's what I'm saying. I think Beauty and the Beast is a little bit more focused on, like, it has to be true love. Because in The Little Mermaid, it could have been anything. Somebody could just written down Ariel's name and said, like, say her name and kiss her. Like, anyone could have.
True.
So even she could have, right? Did she write?
They only show her signing her name. But a lot of royals back then didn't know how to write. They only knew how to write their name.
Very true.
But
anyway, going back on topic to I don't know. Yes. I guess the servants, maybe they did create the monster. That's a cool way of thinking about it. They created part of this madness. We get after she tells Gaston to beat it, because Belle obviously is like, not interested in you, dude, not going to happen. We get a reprise of the song Belle, which, once again, if this doesn't scream a Broadway musical reprise, if I've ever heard one, it's this song. If this does not send chills through you, I don't know if you love musical theater.
I agree. I do love this reprise, and I love it's so theatrical. Yes. And like her running in the field and, like, belting out her last line, like, it's so pretty.
I think Paige, just if anything goes for why they chose Paige's more mature sounding voice rather than like a little teenager sounding voice. Like, if there's one thing that really resonates, like, her tone in
why don't you speak on that? Why don't you talk about the voice that we were talking about this the other day, and how they had actually auditioned. Didn't you say they auditioned Jodie Benson?
They did. They auditioned Jodie Benson again, and even though they had already worked with her on The Little Mermaid, but a lot of Disney films did things like that at the time. Especially the classic films. The classic films reused a lot of their actors over and over again, but they thought that Jodie sounded too young for this role, and they wanted to present Belle a little bit older. Paige said that when they originally had her cast, her age was 20. It was not a teenager, it was 20. I think that some people say that Belle is 17 or 18, that she's definitely a more mature teenager at this time, more of a, let's say it, like an adult teenager that can speak her mind, and she's not 15. Isn't Aurora really young?
I don't know. Where are people getting these ages? Because I see this online a lot, where, like, people are like, "Oh, Snow White was 14. Belle was." Well, I think
Beauty is in the plot. It's
her about her 16th birthday.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that one there is actual.
Yeah. So, and wait, isn't in The Little Mermaid? Doesn't Sebastian say her age?
Oh, because it's like her quinceañera.
Yeah. So I just think that, well, either way, Paige said her original script has her age cast as 20. So they obviously were going for a more mature role for this.
Mature for Disney.
Yeah, mature for Disney.
Because
Exactly.
20 is still young, but like
for a heroine, mature for Disney, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I did read somewhere that she had said that. But yeah, they went with her because she did sound a bit more mature. And not as damselly. Belle is refreshing because she's not a damsel, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think that a lot of people like her for that side of her.
She's not out there being like, someday my prince will come. She's just
all.
like, she's fine. She's living at home with her dad, and she loves him. She loves to read, and she's not out there. She wasn't out there really looking for a man.
Yeah, and we don't get too much backstory of them, which obviously the stage musical does fix for us, because we do get more of the backstory between her and her dad, and her mom not being around. And so but yeah, that's not in this, so we won't go into it too deep. After Belle, well, yeah, when Belle's on her little hill singing the reprise of her song, Philippe comes rushing back home, and she of course is like, why are you here? But dad's not here, so something must have happened. And she tells Philippe, please take me back to where you last saw dad. So the horse takes her back into the woods, and she finds the castle, and she basically finds her dad locked up in the beast's dungeon. Of course, all Lumiere and Cogsworth are all excited that there's an actual girl in the castle. And when she has her run-in with the beast, she offers to take her dad's place as a prisoner, and the beast agrees to it. This is where we finally get the full shot of the beast when she tells him to step into the light. I think this part of the script is brilliant. I think the whole "take me instead" line really hits hard, because she is a daughter that's like giving up her freedom and her life for her older dad, which any parent in this situation would be like, not happening.
And he did. He literally said, like, I've lived my life, like, don't do this. But it shows her character and how she is so strong, and like she's doing the rescuing. She is not a damsel in distress.
Right.
She stands up to this. Even it's after she sees his face that she still says, like, take me, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you really get to see that her bravery, and it is a really cool scene.
She says to take her before she sees his face, but even at that,
she saw it, and she still said, okay.
But the script here is really great. The other line that's really good is when she tells him that you didn't even let me say goodbye. Anyway, I do feel that this is a great example of this script being a bit more of an elevated script compared to other Disney films in the past.
Mm-hmm.
The Beast offers Belle a room instead of the jail cell, at Lumiere's advice. He's like, don't blow it. Can you at least like be nice to this girl? The Beast also advises Belle, please stay out of the west wing of the castle. But he doesn't tell her why. He just says, stay out of the west wing. It's forbidden. We go from the castle to back home to the village, where we get a song from Gaston, who is at the bar with his friends. He's going over why Belle, like he's trying to...
He's moping.
Yeah, he's moping, but everyone's, LeFou, his like, little assistant counterpart, LeFou is like, I don't understand why she wouldn't want you, because you've got all of these great qualities. And so he's determined, like, yeah, you're right. I do deserve Belle as my wife, because I am such a great person, and talks about all of his amazing conceited qualities. And so here we get his number, which is also called Gaston. How do you feel about this song?
I think it's fun. The first thing I thought when I was watching this scene and like all of the lyrics and stuff, like very funny. And I was wondering, is if we were to poll 100 gay men, is Gaston a gay icon? Like, you look at him and you see like his physique, and he's got like the hairy chest, and he's very like he's a macho guy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Gaston could have been a lot of young boys like gay awakening?
Maybe.
Or do a lot of people just think that he's like a gross character?
No, because you're gonna have your types. You know what I mean? Even for cartoons, and cartoon characters, like you're gonna have your types of who you gravitate towards, who you think are sweet or who you think are charming. Not everybody wants a charming Prince Philip. Not everybody wants a sailor boy Eric, but they might want a huntsman bear type, but he's not really a bear, but a big burly guy.
What
like
is he
Gaston,
then?
I don't know.
What
Is
would
he a
be
bear?
No, I don't think he's a bear, but he's
I don't know. Like, just
he's a big guy with the hairy chest, and I'm sure there were a lot of
awakenings.
a lot of twinks that probably wanted him to throw them around. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so I was wondering, and maybe we'll find out.
A lot of gay awakenings.
Yeah,
put that in your Instagram.
I'm gonna have to ask that question,
right?
And I mean, he wasn't mine.
Not mine either.
But I was curious, just because he is like he specifically like shows off his arms and his chest, and so I was just wondering if some
this song is really silly. It is cut a bit short. It's longer on the album, and also the stage musical like cranked it up with this song, because you get some amazing choreography with the beer steins.
And, they like stop the song to do like a whole dance number.
Mm-hmm. So it's definitely cranked up on stage, but it's a funny song. It's really funny.
Yeah,
I love when he lifts the girls up on the bench too, on the bar bench, the Bimbettes. That's like such a cool shot. Like that'd be a cool sell if somebody owns that original cell out there. That would be awesome.
That's not the first time he's done that, I'm sure.
All three of them. Suddenly breaking up the party, Maurice comes back home, and he comes in from the cold. It's like, I think it's snowing out there, and he's claiming that Belle was captured by a beast that lives in a castle. Gaston and LeFou basically kick him out, claiming like, what a nut job this guy is, like, get out of here, you fool. But then Gaston devises a plan with LeFou. It's like a sidebar that they have. Not everybody hears it, but actually the audience doesn't quite even know it yet. He just basically whispers in his ear, and he's like, hey, I've got a plan. This is what we're going to set into motion, but we don't really know what the plan is. Jumping back to the castle, Belle starts to meet all of the castle servants, including the candelabra, Lumiere, the mantle clock, Cogsworth, the teapot, Mrs. Potts, and her son, Chip, who is a little teacup. We meet Babette, the feather duster. Who,
that's not her name.
Who I always thought was named Babette, but apparently she didn't get her name until Broadway.
Yeah.
So just the feather duster.
You can't retcon that, okay?
Why not? Why not? Belle also has a wardrobe in her room, voiced by the hilarious Joanne Worley from Laugh-In, one of my all-time faves for sure. The Beast wants Belle to join him for dinner, but when she refuses, he gets pissed off and has a screaming match with her, like through the door of her room, and he runs off to the West Wing. It's the first time that we see the Beast use an enchanted mirror, which basically lets him view things magically or see a vision of something happening in real time. So it's kind of like a magical Big Brother where he can like phone in a video to oversee something else that's happening. So he can see Belle in her bedroom crying, or not even really, crying and upset with the wardrobe.
I think it's also
she's like pissed off about the whole situation.
Yeah, less crying and sad, and more like right when he joins the conversation, she's like, I don't want anything to do with him. So
didn't even let me say goodbye to my dad. Like, I'm pissed off about this. You're right.
She's more mad in that, and
You're right.
You know, understandable.
She does sneak out that night, and Lumiere puts on a dinner show for her. He gets everybody out of the cupboards to put on a dinner show, even though Cogsworth is like, what are you doing? Like, let's just give her a little piece of like bread and send her back to bed. And Lumiere is like, oh, no. We've got to be super hospitable here. And so he puts on the number, which is Be Our Guest. What are your thoughts on this song?
You know, when you just said that right now, it reminded me of the SNL skit where they do the Real Housewives of Disney, and you know the Belle
like
character.
A DJ song.
Be our guest, be our guest.
Champagne,
caviar. Again, it's never been my favorite song.
What?
Never been my favorite song.
It is so funny that you like Beauty and the Beast more than you like this song, because I am in the exact opposite of you. When I think of Beauty and the Beast, I think of this song.
Well, I mean,
that is so crazy, but this is why we're doing this, right? This is totally why we're doing this.
When I say this is the thing, this is how I rate my songs. If I can turn on my music on Apple Music and press play and listen to a song, just like audio, and enjoy it, then I like the song.
Mm-hmm.
If I can watch the number in front of me and enjoy it, I like the scene. I don't see myself going on Apple Music and clicking on the Beauty and the Beast soundtrack and listening to Be Our Guest. It's not my favorite song. It is a very cool number, though, and it is very fun to watch. Angela Lansbury, gay icon. I can listen to that song because it's beautiful. And the same with the Belle song. Now, I can listen to that because I love their voices. Maybe sometimes when the songs are a little too hokey pokey, kind of like silly, like they're not the first ones that I'm going to listen to on repeat.
Got it.
So, but watching the scene, it's very cool.
Right. You wouldn't skip past it.
No, not at all. It's not like I hate both.
Yeah.
And I don't even hate the song. I'm just saying, out of the songs, it rates lower for me because I'm just not gonna listen to it like that.
Got it.
I will say, watching the scene and specifically watching the characters, I don't know why, out of all of the Disney movies, and maybe just because this is the era that we grew up on, the color palette of these characters is so 90s. And maybe just because it came out in the 90s, so it just like reminds me of that. But like the yellows and the violets and like specifically like Mrs. Potts colors, it reminds me so much of childhood. And like,
wow,
here's like McDonald's toys, like, or just the Disney store type toys in those vibrant colors. It just reminds me of like that era so much. And I don't think that maybe those colors are 90s colors, but it just reminds me of the
something
90s. About
that brings you back to it.
Yeah, I just immediately was like, this is like, these are like little McDonald's palettes. Yeah.
I love this song. I think it's amazing. I think that once again, like, it was already A+, and on stage they upped it to A++. I many a times had performed this song around my living room or my den as a kid with the television blasting. This was just one of those songs where I was, just you may have been singing Part of Your World growing up, Boo, as a little boy in a pool. But let me tell you,
right? A little gay boy wanting a Prince Eric.
Let me tell you, I was Lumiere in the den in my house blasting this, probably on repeat, like trying to like put this performance on. Yeah, I love it. I think it's wonderful. Once again, we are like Jeffrey and I, we just love theater, and this is a song that really just reminds me of that. And there's another song coming up at the end of the film that just really just has all themes of a great Broadway musical number, and I feel like Be Our Guest is one of them.
Well, I think maybe this one hits you so much harder because I never saw the live stage show when I was a kid. When we started dating, I told you that, and you were like, "Oh, well, you're gonna go see it because you need to see it." But you went as a kid, and I believe, I could be mistaken, but did the original Broadway cast, or some of them,
I think a lot of them,
did they go to the Schubert?
Yeah, I think a lot of them.
Because you said you did see Susan Egan in the role?
Possibly, probably. I'll have to pull my program out of the garage because I know I still have it in there.
Well, whatever it was, I think this is a like an Inside Out. I believe this is probably a core memory.
I think you're right, Boo. I think you're right. And I will say that, and I will touch on this a bit later. I will say that although I think for me, my brain is 50-50 split of Belle is Belle for me, not just because of Paige O'Hara, but because of Susan Egan. And I think that a lot of people don't really get that, or didn't really get that as kids. But I will say, like, I feel that a lot of, it's just like it's just split for me because Susan was able to change so much of what we know about, not really change. She had more material to work with. She was able to give it more life. I mean, fun fact, she played Meg in Hercules. Like, I mean, she was the voice of Meg for Hercules in the animated film.
This kind of goes more into what you're saying. I think this kind of proves your point even more because she played this character on Broadway and made such an impact that she then, by the Disney company, was like, we now want you to play Meg.
Yeah.
So she got to be, the Broadway Belle, which to some people is their Belle, I believe. Right. I mean, I don't know if you could even choose because you love them both so much.
I do love them both so much, but I think you're right. I think I can say it that, yeah, I think Susan is my Belle,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so she made such a big impact, and I'm sure there are a lot of theater kids that probably, as much as they like the movie, probably like Susan Egan Belle more because, I mean, there's more material, and they just love the live theater show so much.
Right.
But then there's probably maybe not as many, or not, how do I say this? There are probably a lot of Disney fans that are, everything they love, they love everything Disney, that may not necessarily be theater people that are just, I love Disney, I love Disneyland, I love California Adventure, I love Disney movies, I love Pixar movies. Everything to them is Disney, and I'm sure that is their Belle, and and it's perfectly fine whoever you choose, but she definitely made a big impact, I believe, to then go on and be cast as another huge fan favorite character like Meg. So yeah,
that was our deep dive.
Woo! Oh my god.
Well, I might cut some of that. That was a lot. So Belle decides after dinner that she wants to take a tour of the castle. When she roams away from, like the gang, she finds the enchanted rose, and the beast angrily forces her to flee outside. He gets pissed off. He's like, I told you never to come to the West Wing. Why are you messing with my stuff? Get out of here. So she flees outside into the snow.
I would love him to have said it like that.
Like that? Like, why was he running short? Like, why was he?
Why are you in my?
Why are you in my space?
Why are you in my salon?
Get out of here! So
this is my personal space.
So she runs out into the snow, and the wolves ambush her, but the Beast rescues her, getting injured in the process. Back at the castle, she nurses his wounds by the fire. And this is the first time we see a shift in the development between them, where there's more of an actual human interaction between them.
Well, because all she's seen before is just anger and negativity, and this is the first time that he actually did something heroic.
Yeah.
And like she's about to be, unalived, and he went and rescued her. So she finally saw something there that wasn't there before.
Yes. This scene is another one of my favorites. I think that the script is a bit elevated here. I love the banter between them, and Belle is just like not flinching. He's like yelling in her face, fangs out and everything, and she's just not flinching. She's like, sorry, deal with it.
I don't even think you see her blink.
And
he's
her
like,
hair goes flying back.
I was gonna say her hair's blowing, and I don't think she even blinked twice. So
yeah, she's
it's a very cool scene.
It is a very cool scene.
I was gonna say this scene in particular, it reminded me a lot of Belle in this scene. Reminds me a lot of Judy Garland in The Wizard of Oz. I was getting when Dorothy smacks the Cowardly Lion on the nose and tells him what's what, and is like, you shouldn't be, chasing little dogs, and
should like behave yourself.
Yeah, she told him to pipe down, and I think their banter back and forth, it kind of reminded me of like a Dorothy moment of like putting him in his place.
Totally.
And he did. She snapped at him, and he was screaming at first, and then she snapped at him. I can't remember exactly what she said, but I think he kind of knew what's what. And it's a very cool scene between them.
It is very, very cool. Any notes before we wrap up part 1? Because I honestly think this is a good spot to stop. Now that we've humanized the Beast a bit, I think that we should stop here.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot to,
because we're going to go into our montage soon. So, yeah, I think that this is a good spot.
I agree.
Well, everyone out there listening, thanks for listening to part 1 of Beauty and the Beast. You can find us on social media.
TikTok and Instagram, Hollywood Hubbies. You can also follow our separate pages on Instagram and TikTok. I am Fave Musical Clips.
I'm Ferruccio Arts. And yeah, drop those likes, drop those comments. We like hearing from you guys. We are almost at 4,000 streams, so that's pretty exciting. But yeah, stay tuned next week when we get into part 2 of Beauty and the Beast.
All right. Bye, guys.